We not only have to go down to zero fossil fuel emissions as quickly as possible, but we have to draw down from the atmosphere a couple of 100 billion tons of carbon that have been put up there over the last few centuries, especially through burning fossil fuels and through destructive farming and land use.
Mere feet from schools, from homes, from parks, the fossil fuel industry was conducting oil extraction activities.
Very few regulations. There's some disclosure informational requirements here in California, but they're very weak and they really don't change or make the practice of fracking any safer. Here in California, the industry actually gets permits to dump its wastewater into aquifers that should be protected for agricultural and drinking uses.
To say that we will tackle climate change by concentrating pollution, moving it around, but really moving it around to concentrate it in certain communities and make those communities sacrifice zones just so that these other communities have pristine air is an absolute contradiction.
Well, we need to ban fracking in America, and we're now seeing polls that more and more Americans oppose fracking and want to see the practice stopped because they see how dangerous it is. They see the water impacts, they see the health impacts on people who live near fracking wells. Nationally, there's hardly any regulations. In fact, there's exemptions from regulations. We know the Halliburton loophole passed in the 2000 years under Bush and Cheney pretty much exempted the industry from the Safe Drinking Water Act and allowed them just to frack wild on federal public lands. So that's how we know this practice is so dangerous.
And even if you stop fracking, stop exploiting reserves, stop poisoning the atmosphere, there's a lag effect that these greenhouse gases are going to stay in the atmosphere for decades after the sources have been reduced.
The problem is that we're locked into our silos. We're locked into single issue campaigning. And if we don't create a synthesis or a dynamic between our various movements, we're done. Because we can't just solve it with consumer awareness. You know, we can't just solve it with Bernie Sanders type people. We all have to be climate activists right now.
People power gets the goods, and so organizing in your community to let your statewide elected official know, whether it's your assembly member or your state senator, let them know that you don't stand for this process and they need to take action on it by pressuring upwards, pressuring on Jerry Brown, and moving through good policies that end this practice. So organize in your local community, people power gets the goods to stop a really disastrous practice like this.